Diversity and inclusion, it means a lot to me. You have to think outside of the box. Obviously something different than myself as being, a deaf person, but I think it's good because uniformity has no sense of self, but diversity and inclusion, with that, you can learn about others and then apply it to yourself.
One of the first things that I said to my supervisor when I came in here was that I wanted to have a footprint. And I wanted to have something that I could contribute, some kind of value, some kind of chip that I could contribute to. And my supervisor was very, very open to the idea of me being exposed to those kind of experiences. So he gave me projects that made a difference.
I think we probably learned as much as Greg did with dealing with the disability. I stated earlier I was intimidated. I wasn't intimidated afterwards. I understood a lot better.
At Dow here, they're so friendly, and anything I needed was accommodated for me. So I didn't really need anything. I felt like I gained more from the experience, and from the lab work, and from socializing, with the employees and getting to know them, and I feel more comfortable too.
At one point, after we had several interns in the lab for the summer and spring house, this came to the attention of the Philadelphia Inquirer. So they sent a journalist up. She wanted to come up to see how hard it was to work with these students. Well, after she'd been there about 10 minutes observing, she said, "Well, I think I can leave now. There's no story here." And we all looked in surprise. "No story?" She said, "Well, there's no story here because it's not hard to work with them." And we said, Scott Wills said, "That's exactly right. That's the story. It's not hard to work with them."
When I arrived to Dow, Seadrift site for the first day, they asked me if I need anything, like an interpreter for meetings, if I need a webcam to make phone calls. And my background of growing up, I never used any of that. So I kind of took the risk of saying, no, it's okay. I want to figure out without using an interpreters.
My boss, Janine, had recently learned, like maybe a week or so before, I think, some basics, and she was practicing. But of course, like, she had never met a real deaf person and applied what she learned in a real life situation. But she has, picked up more skills when we're next to each other, and I'll explain what the sign for this is and what the sign for that is, and she'll say, "Oh, okay," and then she'll use those signs that she had learned and memorize them for the rest of my internship.
My big advice is not really to the leaders, is to the person who is deaf or who has disability, is to speak up to your leader. If the leader kind of see that they're struggling and they look kind of lost, then maybe the leader can go talk to them and say, maybe it's best if you move around and see what best spot you can sit at and hear everybody in the room.
Actually, working with these interns, we've really found that the challenges are really in listening. And I found that actually working with them, I'm a better speaker because I think about what I'm trying to say. Because if you have to put it down on the computer, or you're signing it yourself, or you're having someone else interpret for you, you really start to think about the words you say.
I never realized that any job could be perfect. It's like, no way. You can't have a perfect job. But when I got here, I was wrong.